لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. For some time now, I've been traveling through the Qur'an and bringing to my attention and to yours as well aspects of the Messenger of Allah. And this verse I rehearsed to myself and for your reminder as well is found in Surah Al-Ahzab chapter 33 verse 21. And the very naked translation is that if you're looking for the example par excellence in life, if you're looking for the experiences in the life of an individual that can enrich yours or enrich mine, then the Qur'an is telling us that in the Messenger of Allah there is a beautiful pattern, there is a beautiful example, there is an enhancing, there is a good, there is a picture there, figuratively speaking, for you and I to really look at and to benefit along from. In studying the Prophet, Allah's Messenger in the Qur'an, we must be very concerned about one main thing, and that is, what is the purpose of studying about him? We should not get away with the idea, oh, the Prophet was this and the Prophet was that, and we close the chapter here. If you and I have not learned that the main purpose of the Prophet in the Qur'an is to deliver a message to people like you and me indirectly, as he was commanded to deliver it directly to his community. And if you and I do not take the guidance found in the Qur'an about him and his community, then we will fail like so many others in understanding who was this prophet and why was this prophet. The fact I want to emphasize, this is not just to know history. History, we need to understand what history is. History tells us what happened, where it happened, when it happened, why it happened, to whom it happened, and what were the reasons that made it happen. History is not just a story to fill up the brain with information. Unless we are going to learn the lessons of history, it is useless to go through the pages of history. Because in history, you and I can learn so much. What we learn from history can very much influence our present situation. And what we learn from history can have a direct relationship with the kind of future we dream of, we think of, we are prepared to build. So even though the Prophet was history, but he was and his message remains a living, dynamic history. And you have heard me say it before. The Qur'an does not place emphasis on the city, on his mother and father, or his uncle or his aunt, or his grandmother or grandfather. The Qur'an did not place emphasis on these issues. The Qur'an emphasized to us the predicament of a people, the hopelessness of a people, the stagnation of a people. People who are on the brink of destruction by their own hands. And of course, there are always hands outside to destroy others who are callous and careless about their own responsibility. The Qur'an brought him into context that we can learn a lesson from his society and his experience. If you approach the study of the Prophet saying that, oh, he was a prophet in the 7th century and we are living in the 21st century, you are missing certain screws and bolts, because you will fail to benefit from this messenger. But if you understand that even though he was Allah's messenger in the 7th century, the Arabs of the 7th century have so much in common with people today in the 21st century. Please understand that. The Arabs of the 7th century have so much in common with our society today. And that is why we need to learn the lessons that was taught to the Arabs so that we can benefit from it. The Prophet was an Arab, no doubt about that. He wore Arab dress, he ate Arab food, he used Arab vehicles, he spoke Arabic language. You can see his name is a name that Arabs have, but don't associate the Prophet with Arab religion. Don't associate the Prophet with Arab culture. Don't associate the Prophet with Arab politics. Don't associate the Prophet with the values of Arab economics. He was beyond and above the Arabs. And right there is a lesson for me and you. I may come from Guyana. You may come from Pakistan or Bangladesh or so many other countries. And if you and I continue to fail to learn that fundamental lesson, that the Prophet did not adopt the religion that he came and saw, the culture that he came and saw. Today, the average Muslim of Bangladesh, of Pakistan, of Guyana, of the Arab world, what do? They follow their own people. What do? They follow their own people. They don't follow sense and intelligence. Even if the Qur'an says this, they will still follow the culture of their forefathers. Otherwise, why? They will lose credibility in the eyes of the misguided people who are part of their culture. So the average person is out to do what? To play games with the people of his own culture or her own culture. And the Prophet, par excellence, was different in this respect. He stood out on the horizon of the Arabian society. And he made a number of declarations. And that is why Allah is telling me and you, you want to come out of the dungeon you're in? You want to come out of the darkness you're in? You want to come out of the religion of your forefathers that seem to be powerless and hopeless?